Good morning. Thank you for joining us again today. And we've been getting some stuff done the last few days and just kind of forget about the camera part of the time. Some gooseberries planted today out here. And some things had a water leak. They had to come out and fix a water leak this morning for us. Got our raised beds up front. Don't have anything in them yet. Got these raised beds back here going. Looks like our plastic blew over. There. It's our bok choy. Some of our cold weather stuff going out here. Don't have anything in the grow boxes yet. And notice this fence here that we kind of had to put up. The bird netting, I put it around like a temporary fence because the turkeys took out about half, a little over half of our cabbage. And some of our cabbage over there, the turkeys took them out. And so they're over there now. We were letting them free range out here, and we ended up putting everything up because of when I planted potatoes, potato seeds in, seed potatoes. Put them in. Got the row done. Got turned around, starting to put the dirt back over, and they had all the seed potatoes out and laying on the sides. I had to go back and put them all in, but I put them back in their area up here. Got all them situated, and we still got one or two that's coming out, but the turkeys are all staying in. That's the main thing. That's the ones that's giving us the most trouble. And I will be building them another turkey house in that other run over there. We got 3 runs. We got the chicken run, and then over there is going to be the geese and the turkeys, and then of course back there is the field for the goats and stuff. So our blueberries, kind of thought that cold that we had would maybe get to them because we didn't cover them up, but they got the buds on them. They look like they're doing good, and cold didn't get them. Hi, Emmy. Hi, girl. We'll go check the greenhouse. No, you're wanting pettings, ain't you? You're wanting some pettings, ain't you? Let's go check the greenhouse, girl. Put our temporary, well, it ain't really temporary, it's permanent. We were going to make it movable, but that's where it's going to be at, right beside the smokehouse. But that is our chicken coop. We call it our transition coop. We've got little ones 3 and 4 days old. We got some a week old. We got some in the barn in there that's about 8 weeks old. They need to come out of their brooder, and I had them out here. We had them out here for a while today, and it come a pretty good little rain and little storm, so we moved them. I put them back in the barn. I'll probably go get them here in just a little bit. But built this yesterday, and got to put a roof on it. Probably do the roof, have it on there probably this afternoon. But these pretty simple to build. Didn't take that long to do it. But we went to get our wood yesterday to do our framing, and they had 2x3s instead of 2x4s. So we ended up getting 2x3s because they were a whole lot cheaper, and I don't really need big 2x4s for something like this. At 2x3s and make it lighter. And of course we used our chicken wire. Did go with a 2-inch instead of the 1-inch. I went with a 2-inch because it also, yeah, it's lighter also, and the ones we're going to be putting in here, I'm not going to have 1-inch holes for. Anyway, I got 2 chickens over there that are out running around. It's hard to keep them in. They're still small enough they walk right through the fence. But that is our 2x3s I've got left. We're going to be doing the turkey house. Probably the same thing, instead of being 4-sided, it'll be like a lean-to, because we're going to put it off the side of the barn. I've got to get the I got to get this done this year too. There's my coffee cup I was looking for. Make sure I take it in. This is our smoke box, our fire box for our smokehouse, and we'll do a video on the smokehouse one day here pretty soon. I've people asking questions about it every now and then, and let's go in here and check out the greenhouse today. You know where you're supposed to be? I gotta take the plastic off the door this week. That is our icicle radishes, purple top turnips. I planted them back during cold weather. I'm just kind of curious how this first year we've really used the greenhouse. So just kind of curious how they would do in these grow boxes, and they're doing good. But I don't have any celery up yet. I had a couple that came up. It really didn't want to come up. I replanted it. And tomatoes. Joseph's peppers are starting to come up. His takes a while to come up. He's one of the really hot peppers. Swiss chard. Had to replant them. And this is all herbs. Got some horehound going on, and wintergreen back there, purple coneflower, mullein, cilantro, a little bit of everything. And that's all of our squash. And there's pineapple, tomatoes, bell peppers. These 4 right here are supposed to be chocolate bells, but 2 of them come out chocolate and 2 of them came out green. But they're the same, all 4 of them the same leaves, so apple melon. We've heard of them, we've never tried growing them, and had to replant my okra. I've got one I noticed right there just come up this morning, so that means the rest of them's going to be popping through soon. That's awesome. I had to replant the cucumbers. One of them right back there is coming up. Awesome. And the door blows shut on me. There's our vent, and I put a fan in there, so it's real hot. I can turn the fan on, suck some of that heat out of there if I need to. But I need to take this plastic off the door. We still got a few cold nights, so I'll leave it on there for now. How are you guys today? Where's Marigold? Is she in the barn? Arnold's making a mess out here. He ain't really making a mess. He's actually cleaning it up for me. That over there is where we was doing the rolls of hay. I won't do no more rolls of hay for a couple of reasons. But he's going around it, cleaning it up. As soon as we get the compost, I'll have the tractor going this weekend. New clutch put in it. And get all that compost over there out. And I got to straighten up the side of it and put another brace on it that came loose. And then all this hay is going to go over there and start composting again. Our potatoes are not coming up yet. Of course, they've been pretty wet. Every time it rains, it stands full of water. But you can't really, maybe you can see on the camera, something I hadn't noticed until really this year. You can tell standing here and looking up that way it's a hillside right here on your own. Standing up here in the garden, it looks like it's flat. You're up on the far end of the property up there looking back here. It almost looks like it's just really steep, and it's not. But we got our potatoes in the upper half of the garden. A little over half of the garden up through there is still deep turned. It's not tilled yet. So I got plans for that next week if it don't rain every day. And even with that really cold down in the 20s for a few nights, we still got some really good green on our trees. Okay, and I want to talk to you for a minute about something. There's some things that I wish I had have listened to whenever I was younger. I was out here helping. I didn't really pay attention in school, I guess you could say, when I was doing some of this stuff, about why some things were done the way they were and the reason they did, some stuff. And let's say if you've got someone, that's older, maybe your homestead is one that's been farmed before and it's been in your family or something, and it's good to listen to the older generations about why they did some things the way they did them, and because it saves you a lot in the long run. I did not pay attention and everything because I had no intentions growing up. You know how we are when we were younger. I have no intentions of doing this. So, I wish I had have listened, because my grandpa, we had some issues with our garden the first last year when we did this, but I planted everything east-west. I planted everything that direction because the garden is narrow that way and long that way, so I planted long rows and not that many versus a lot of short rows. It just made more sense to me to do it that way. I know my grandpa always planted short rows because he planted them north-south, not east-west. So he planted a lot of rows of the same thing in short rows instead of a few long rows. And whenever we planted our garden out here, I did corn. I did some long rows of corn. And after the third time of having to go through and pick all of our corn up and try to put dirt around them to try to make them stand up to keep from losing our corn, kind of realized that they may have been, Grandpa may have been onto something, because the wind blows north-south. We're not too far from the airport. There's just a short little row of trees separating us from the airport. As far as open, if it weren't for those trees, it would just be open land. It's like a funnel because it's surrounded with trees. We're trees on each side. So it kind of funnels that wind. I mean, I can be up front, in the front yard up there doing something, and that wind not blowing, and I can walk back here by the garden and it just blowing hard. So wind came through and it blew our corn down, and I fixed it, blew it down. We fixed it, it blew it down. But I kind of thought, well, maybe that's why he planted the other direction, because instead of a wall of corn, he had just the single stalks that had to blow around, and it would help. And then also we planted our potatoes this year. Showed you where we did them right there. You can see right there. It's a pond. What we ended up doing when we did this, where I tilled this and put them in. I showed you down there, one was down there, this is a little bit of a hillside, but that is a flat area now. And then that little strip is a little bit of a hill, and then that is a flat, and it ended up being like a terrace. So with me running our seed potatoes east-west like we did with our corn, now that we've got all the rain and everything, is kind of running down to those spots and holding instead of running on down the hill. we've kind of created a spot, you know, to collect the water. So, which, you know, potatoes needed water, but just they didn't need that much. We had so much a few days ago that the ducks were out there swimming around on top of the potatoes. So, speaking of ducks, got one of them right over there. More over here. But so I was talking to my brother the other day, and I said something about the water being over the potatoes and the ducks being in it, and he said, "Yeah, that's why Papa always planted north-south, never east-west, because," he said, north-south you got your rows, and your water has a run in between the rows, can run off on over the hill and out, where if you run the north and south, your rows where they're hilled up a little bit, it'll hold the water in between them and it causes issues. So I'm like, yeah, okay. So he paid attention while he was out here having to do this when he was younger, and he kind of knew the whys. And I told him about about our corn. I said, yeah, that's probably why he never planted corn the way that I did. He said, yeah, that he had problems with the corn blowing over instead of planting it the other way. So so all that to say this: if you have someone, even if it's just another farmer, an older gentleman or older lady in your area that is homesteading, has been doing this for years, and knows the land around where you are, it might be worth talking to them, getting some insight from them, learning a little bit from them, because you may learn something about your area you didn't know, and like I said, it may save you a lot of heartache or headache and a lot of time by learning what they know. Thought I saw Milo over there. Yeah, there he is. Hi, Milo. You need water? Okay. He's needing some water. Go get him some water here in a minute. You know, the Bible always also talks about the older to teach the younger. So us young'uns need to learn from the older ones, and they've got a lot of knowledge. And that's one thing with our smokehouse. The reason I built it, I'm going to do a video on it soon. The reason I built it the way I built it, and the reason that we have the box, the smoke box, fire box set the way we do, and just everything about it is because someone took the time. I think the video is like 13 years old, it says 13 years ago. That somebody took the time to do an interview with a man that was up in the hills of Kentucky, and he was 91, 92 year old, something like that, and that was about 13 years ago. They took the time to do a video on his smokehouse and how he built it and why he built it the way he did, and just some of the old ways of doing things concerning that. So I've watched that video a few times while we was building our smokehouse. I went back and looked at it and built ours. Of course, ours is about less than half the size of his. His was huge, but I designed ours and built ours off of his ideas and the way that he was talking about why you do some things and why you don't do some things, and that's why we built ours off of his, because you can learn some things by trial and error, or you can gain a little bit of wisdom and knowledge from some of the older ones that's done this before. But I gotta go get Milo some water, so I'll let you guys go, and thank you for watching, and please subscribe to our channel if you haven't already. And we enjoy doing these videos. Like I said, just sometimes we get projects going, I forget to grab the camera, or sometimes I'm doing things, some things by myself, and it's kind of hard to hold the camera and do some stuff sometimes at the same time too. So, But please like and subscribe to our channel. And thank you guys for watching us and encouraging us. And please, any comments that you have or questions that you have, please leave them below. And as always, God bless.